Yekaterina Shulman, no, I disagree. I could disagree completely with Yekaterina Shulman. She's very popular, but when you start analyzing her points that she stands, it's pretty shit. She's like a Captain Obvious for the fancy crowd. She is not stating anything that is, how do you say, she's over analyzing the obvious things, and she's presenting it in a way that this is, and I'm not going to talk a lot about Ekaterina Shulman because she's a very, very kind of Russia-centric spokesperson, you can say. I really don't like a lot of the liberal opposition in Russia, and I've been quite open about it. I think they're very useless. I think they don't want to radicalize themselves. A lot of them are still, right now, there is some kind of local elections coming up in Russia, and they're still discussing about the fact that, like, oh, yo, we need to participate in local elections. You know, you need to vote for someone else rather than the ruling party. Vote for, yeah, it's complete dog shit. It's like they did this for 20 over something years and nothing worked, and now they're just continuing their track, and they just never learn from their mistakes. They just have this weird phenomena that they're in a military fascist state that is running an open active war, committing war crimes with a bloody dictator at the helm, and they are just continuing doing this weird, how do you say, dances with signs saying no to war on the streets where one or two people coming out. Because if you didn't know, in Russia it's prohibited to have how do you say, like a protest that is unsanctioned when it's more than one person. And well, technically one person is also being taken care of. So it's a complete dog shit. The Russian opposition is dog shit. If the Russia breaks, it's not going to be because of the liberal opposition that Russia has. It's because there's going to be a conflict between the ultra radicals that are right now criticizing Putin, and where a lot of the Russian population are actually listening to. So that's the war criminal Igor Hirkin, the one that actually started this whole conflict in 2014. Was basically the jolt that kicked off the Russian invasion into Ukraine proper. And yeah, so it's the Navalny is like, the problem with Navalny and liberal opposition, and hear me out. So the problem with them is they don't see Russia's imperialism as a problem. What they see is, they say, well, it's just the wrong kind of imperialism. We need still Russia to be this imperial colonizing power, but we just want it to be a different one. That's the problem with Navalny. That is literally in one sentence. Oh, welcome to the brother in arms. White Lightning 777. Welcome, welcome. Yes, so the problem is that they are literally just wanting another brand of the Russian Empire. That's it. That's the only difference. They just say it's not. It's just a little bit. We need a different type of colors. Right now, it's just a little bit too fascist. We just need a little bit different. Navalny is a nationalist, and the Russian liberal opposition. There was a quote about Navalny and how he was talking about Crimea, that it doesn't belong to Ukraine and Ukraine needs to deal with this. And there was one famous saying, but he addressed that point multiple times. And liberal opposition has said, like, yes, the point that he said that the Crimea is not a sandwich, so it just can be returned to Ukraine. But there has been multiple interviews where Navalny was saying about the fact that Crimea should not belong to Ukraine. And one might say, yes, but it's better than Putin. Yes. Like, by this point, anything is better than Putin. And even if Navalny comes, I would kind of grinding my teeth, but accept it, because democracy is still, in my book, is the value that I would like us to strive for, and Russia also. But to be honest, it would still be a big question mark if the countries surrounding Russia would trust once someone like Navalny is at the helm. Shulman is the member of Presidential Council for Civil Society and Human Rights in Russia. How do you think that has worked? The fact that she's not dead in prison. Yeah. I mean, there's plenty. Like the question, it's Russia is complicated. It's obviously like any political system, especially when we get to the political system that is based on authorities, right? You know, maybe the top layer, right? We know Putin. We know Putin's the close circle. But then the power basically spreads the same way around the different authorities down the line. So Schulman might be just protected under some authority. Maybe she's a relative, or he's like someone else's good friend is good friends with Schulman. So, you know, those deep roots we just don't see of the authoritarian system. So that's why, like, the point of authoritarian system is not that it's doesn't allow sometimes weird voices. It's just there is a different system at work. It's a corrupt system that is not working by the rule of law. It's working by the rule of power and strength that is belonging to a specific clan of people or a specific person in charge. There are a few brave Russians that have thrown down their guns and switched to fight for Ukraine. There's that National Republican Army that blew up Dugina, but they might also easily be insane. I've talked about the Republican Army and the Russian opposition. That is what the Russian opposition right now should be. It's the not the opposition, it's the resistance. You know, the inside resistance. It's the partisan activity. That is what Russian opposition should be right now, and not participating in the elections that are run by this authoritarian regime. So with the Republican Army, I don't know how strong they are. I have a lot of questions around it, because while there was event with Dugina, we didn't really hear a lot. And I'm actually subscribed to their Telegram channel that they're advertised. And to be honest, there is not many activities that they are taking account of directly. It's sometimes they're just saying, oh, there was a train that went off the sleds. Well, I guess now it's us. And they never stated actively. So there was, I'm afraid that Dugina is going to be the only loud case that we'll have. And that's it.